Here's a short story that's definitely a little different than I'm used to doing, but I couldn't resist covering anyway. About a young guy got married for the wrong reasons, way too young, and unfortunately, tragedy happened in his life. But the silver lining was an event happened that was certainly not good, but now he's getting a windfall, a bunch of money, and was able to toss his cheating wife to the curb, and now he's going to keep all the money and all that. And I thought it was just a entertaining one to go over here, definitely a little different, which is titled, Wife Cheated, But I Won. And a shout to James for sending over this short story. He says, I met my girlfriend our senior year in 2022. We bonded well and hit it off, and a couple months later, we got together. In 2023, we graduated high school, and we're going off to university in August. We had way too much free time in the summer, and she ended up pregnant. Smack! Oh my God, right then and there. By not being careful, look, that can change your life. Always wear protection and dispose your protection. Provide your own protection and never believe she's on the pill. Now look at the mess he's in. And we found out early in August. Biggest mistake of my life, and I can't tell you how scared I was. I understand. Well, due to the pregnancy, our family pressured us into getting married. So we did in January 2024. Smack! That is a terrible idea. Two people that otherwise wouldn't get married. It's not the 40s or the 50s or whatever period of time that was common. And it didn't work out then too well. My second biggest mistake in life. Anyway, she goes through with the pregnancy and gives birth 9 months later. A couple months later, the baby died due to an undetected heart condition. Oh my God. This poor guy. Poor baby, poor guy. Because obviously he cares. It was very hard for us to manage, but I thought we pulled through. The fall semester was coming up, and I had switched universities. She was doing online courses, so we decided to move into a one-bedroom apartment. The first time that we lived together on our own, self-sustained. So they're married now, and the only reason they got married is because of the baby. And it's kind of like, why are they together now, you know? Within 1 to 2 months of signing the lease, she started cheating on me. Looking back, I should have noticed, but I was exhausted from school, work, and commuting. Her schedule was easier as she worked full-time and did her classes from our apartment. More free time for her. 40 hours versus 65 hours weekly, and she still had the audacity to complain about me not cleaning. Oh, for goodness, nothing changes. So notice this guy, as heartbreaking as it was, he lost the kid, and we're going to assume this was his kid. But this guy had to pick up and move on. That's all you can do. The signs I noticed and ignored, unfortunately, were more time online. This is her signs of cheating. More isolation, less physical interaction, change in view of cheating. It went from a deal breaker to it's not a big deal. So her attitude towards cheating, it's no big deal. And I'm sure she's probably glued to her phone. I'm sure she probably was staying out late, all these signs. But I was 19 years old at the time and dumb. At least now I know what to look for in the future. She cheated for 5 months in total before she told me. You know, people are going to say, oh, she was messed up because of the loss of the baby. And that'll mess anybody up. That doesn't mean you do this to the guy you're, married to. Now here's the part where I win, which may sound counterintuitive. I got hit by a car. I thought this was a weird story. It was the best thing that happened to me. Dude, getting hit by a car is not a great thing, but I'll finish. Now, this case is still active, so I won't get too much in detail. But here's what I will give. The company vehicle that was at fault, severe injury, deep pockets. This injury occurred about 6 months ago, and I'm still in physical therapy. Probably take a year to fully recover, but I feel well. I'm basically guaranteed to be worth a couple $100,000 once everything settles. Found this out part in December 2024. Well, they're going to settle. This isn't going to go to court, guaranteed. And he'll make out, obviously, he's going to have paying for his PT and medical bills, and then obviously things in the future, but in his mind, hey, I'm still going to get a bunch of money and profit from this whole thing. Doesn't sound like the injury was so severe, like he lost a leg or something, but just he's banged up. Also, due to my injury, I had to stay at my parents' for 6 weeks as I couldn't go to the apartment upstairs. While I'm gone, my ex tells me she likes being there alone. Wonderful thing to hear when you were almost killed a couple weeks prior. Yeah, she was cheating on me. At this point, I'm still oblivious, but I start planning for the future. While injured, I start seeing financial advisors, making plans to pay off our debt and whatnot. I don't know if this pissed her off or what, because I was trying to take care of her finances. Like any responsible guy would be. I didn't work due to the severity of my injury, but it created tension for some reason. Even though we were going to be financially free, but oh well. She eventually told me about her cheating in March 2025, and I immediately filed for divorce, and it surprised her. Surprised her? Yeah, in her mind, oh, this dumbass is going to stay with me. Good for him. Even though I told her it was a deal breaker in the beginning of our relationship, I made her sleep on the couch until she found a new apartment. Unfortunately, I did start working a lot more, which was hard due to me recovering, but you gotta do what you gotta do. My theory is that she felt bad about the cheating and didn't think she deserved the settlement. I couldn't imagine the guilt, especially after 5 months. But honestly, I don't know, and I don't care why. I just know it was able to protect myself. So he got a divorce, and she obviously didn't try to get any settlement money or something like that. I also found out that her mom was upset that she told me about the cheating because they wanted my ex to get some of the settlement. Shocker. Her mom's a scumbag. Acorn doesn't fall far from the tree. And you find out in the comment section his mom's a big cheater and a scumbag and all that. It shows the learned behavior from filth. It also shows how uneducated they are to think that they would get any. It's my money for future medical costs, and the only way she could get half is if I put the money in a joint account, at least where I live. Besides, I made her do an uncontested divorce. Wonderful. More like your lawyer made that happen. And apparently she started sleeping around with a bunch of guys 2 weeks after leaving. That's what they do. It shows she was the problem. Well, I'm going to therapy, taking my time, and I honestly feel a lot better. I haven't got myself into a rebound relationship because it's stupid and it doesn't work. No, it doesn't work. But most commonly, women, when they break up with a guy, there's already a replacement guy. Very rare do women break up with a guy and there's a period when they truly can, work on themselves. Even though when they break up with guys, they all want to say something like, I'm going to work on myself with another dick. That's what they do. Men typically on their own for a while, I also added a new dating rule. Don't date anyone that believes they don't need their medication. But yeah, that's my cheating story. I have no hate towards her, and I have forgiven her. I wish her the best in life. My biggest advice to anyone dealing with a cheater is to turn your anger, sadness into ambition. Well, there you go. And that's good for him. And it's a weird story, she was caught cheating, but the silver lining is, in his mind, he got hit by a car. He was injured and banged up, but he's going to get a pretty big, hefty settlement out of this whole thing. His lawyers are going to get a lot, too. And he's starting over his life. But he never would have married her if she didn't get pregnant. And again, that was a terrible idea. But he was young. He made dumb mistakes. We all make dumb mistakes. And he got pressure by the families. But no. Guys, you get a girl pregnant, and it is your kid, then it's your responsibility. Then you got to get married, regardless of what anybody says. And I know some people will be pissed off about that, but it just doesn't work. Some people are going to say, it worked for my grandparents. Well, probably your grandparents probably weren't that happy. They were forced into this or shamed into it. Now, in his comment section, a lot of people are obviously giving a hard time for various things, and he gets more into details of what's going on. I'm going to read that because it's entertaining. Somebody says, yikes, her whole family seems nuts. And he responds, yeah, they have a weird family dynamic. The mom walked out, cheated, got a couple DUIs, came back. Her parents don't even sleep together. Dad sleeps in the guest room, mom sleeps in the living room on a mattress, and her sister sleeps in the master bedroom. Yeah, it's messed up. This guy should have noticed when he started dating her how messed up her family was. This is why I pay attention to your girl's family. This guy says, if I lost a child, the last thing I would give a shit about is whether or not I won him. You guys are obviously extremely mature and deserve each other. And the young dude says, yeah, you stay with someone that is mentally unhinged. Get punched in the face and see if you still like them. I didn't mention everything because it's none of y'all's business. Talk about maturity, but here you are assuming shit. Also, try looking for the positivity in life, you old rag. So he mentioned about the meds at the end of the thing. So she was getting violent with him and all that, and yeah, he had to put up with it. Only so long. But he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Another guy says, damn, thanks for sharing. Your life is so sad. I can imagine sharing proudly that I won against my wife by being severely injured in a car crash against the mother of my dead child. What do you mean you thought you got through it? Your kid dying is a footnote over your victory. What did you win? Now you get free money to continue living as a man without any merits. Crazy you feel good about yourself after all this. And the young guy says, what am I supposed to do? Mope around feeling sorry for myself? Nope, you move on, you try again. That's a very mature attitude. He messed up big time by not wearing protection, getting that girl pregnant, and then marrying her. And again, we can debate if that was his kid. But sad, horrible things happen in life, and you have to move on. And again, he's young, and I think he's just happy to be away from the bitch and be divorced. But anyhow, guys, a different story, a little weird, but I had to cover it. It was sent over to me. But yeah, the guy made out, and I hope he definitely learned his lesson. And I like the fact that she didn't get the freaking, she's not going to get the settlement money.